Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order. On behalf of the Planning Commission, I'd like to welcome our residents and viewers to this regular meeting of January 9th, 2024. On tonight's agenda, we have 2 public hearings and we have 2 discussion items. Before we get into the public hearings, we have 1 housekeeping item to take care of, and that would be the Planning Commission minutes of our regular meeting of December 12th, 2023. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Thank you. At this time then, we'll open up both public hearings. We will take them in order as shown on the agenda. The first public hearing is ordinance amendments to Title 10, Chapters 2, 4, and 5 of the Farmington Code. And Jared, you're going to take this?
Yep. Thank you, Chair, members of the Planning Commission. So if you recall, at the November 2023 Planning Commission meeting, staff presented a laundry list of miscellaneous, very minor zoning code amendments. These amendments included correcting spelling errors, editing definitions, clarifying language, and updating uses and performance standards. So after receiving positive feedback from Commission that night, staff is bringing the first round of these ordinance amendments for final approval. This specific round of ordinance amendments focuses on adding missing definitions for current zoning uses, deleting an irrelevant zoning use definition, correcting spelling errors, and capitalization fixes. This code update table is in your packet, and we can go through it briefly. So the first page of this code table deals with fixing spelling errors, specifically in the Highway 3 overlay district and the Spruce Street overlay district. These spelling errors came about with the word require and required. They're both misspelt, so we're gonna amend, so basically fix those spelling errors. And that goes through the first half of the second page as well. And then we get to 10.4.5 height regulations for airspace safety. Within here we have capitalization fixes. And then after that, we get into the zoning definitions and adding definitions for current zoning uses we have in code that are missing. And after any questions or concerns, staff is recommending the Planning Commission approve 2402, an ordinance amending Title 10, Chapters 2, 4, and 5 of the Farmington City Code.
Thank you, Jared. I'm glad you got autocorrect there now, especially in the word require and required, all right?
Right.
There's quite a few of them. So this is a public hearing. Is there anybody in our audience that has any comments or questions regarding these ordinance amendments? Seeing none, we'll bring it back. Commissioner Winchell.
Nothing, looks good.
Commissioner Leito.
I think it looks good. Thanks for the clarification on some of the items. It's helpful.
Commissioner McAbee.
Nothing looks good to me too.
You know, some of the definitions are interesting. I'm glad they're written, you know, real clean, real clear. I like that. Now, you mentioned and you labeled it the January ones. Are there going to be additional ones coming?
There will be additional ones in addition, so that master code table presented at the November meeting. The rest of the ones from that table we presented at additional meetings.
Okay.
Or following
Timing,
meetings.
will it be soon or later?
I'd assume we'd have another round in February too. Some of the, we're getting into the more bigger ones in that table.
Okay, well, I'm glad you kind of separated them this way then, because this is not a real significant one, so I appreciate it. With that, I'd look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Winchell.
Yes.
Roddy.
Yes.
Lato.
Yes.
McAbee.
Yes.
In front of the commission then is a recommendation to our city council, again, updating really, Title 10, Chapters 2, 4, and 5 of the Farmington City Code. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a favorable recommendation to our city council. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any more discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Roddy.
Yes.
Lato.
Yes.
McAbee.
Yes.
Winchell.
Yes.
All right, we'll open our second public hearing. This is an application for a conditional use permit and a variance to allow for construction of an accessory structure within the B2, which is our downtown business zoning district. The address is 306 to 312 Oak Street. Tony, you gonna take this?
I will. Thank you, Mr. Chair, commission members. Staff is requesting that this item be continued to the February 13th regular meeting. The applicant is in need of providing some additional information. So with that, staff is requesting that the commission continue it to the February regular meeting.
All right, thank you, Tony. Is there a motion to continue this public hearing until February 13th?
Motion to continue.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Call the roll, please.
Lado,
Yes.
McAbey,
Yes.
Winchell, Roddy.
Yes. All right, we'll move into our discussion items. The first discussion item is the Meadowview Preserve Final Plat and also the Planned Unit Development Agreement. This is located along 195th Street, just to the north of Meadowview School.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, commission members. As Chair Roddy had mentioned, this is the final plat and PUD for Meadowview Preserve, the first edition. This final plat consists of 63 single-family lots. It is consistent with the approved preliminary plat, which included 138 single-family lots over 61 acres, yielding a net density of just over 3 units per acre. The minimum lot area proposed for the entire development is just over 8,000, so 8,119 square feet, with an average lot area of 9,659 square feet. Minimum lot width and depth that is being proposed with this subdivision is 60 feet and 130 feet respectively. The property is zoned R1 PUD, Planned Unit Development. These setbacks that are proposed: front yard setback would be 20, side yard 6, side corner yard 20, and rear yard setback of 6 feet. There are also 3 outlots proposed within the final plat, and they're labeled A through C. Outlot A is a combination of wetland, floodplain, and stormwater ponding, and will be deeded to the city with the final plat. Outlot B is a combination of future development and floodplain, and Outlot C is future development. Included in your packet and shown on here on the screen, this is the actual final plat, so it's basically the southern half of the property. You have 195th Street adjacent to the south. As you can see, the outlots, Outlot A is on the western side of the property, with Outlot B and C towards the northern end of the property itself. There are 2 points of access to the particular phase, those being 193rd Street West from the Troy Hill development and 195th Street to the south. Everfield Avenue, which extends north from 195th Street, runs directly north through the development. Everfield does consist of a 60-foot right-of-way with a 32-foot wide roadway. Everglade Path branches off of Everfield Avenue towards the southern end, and then runs north on the west side of the development. Everglade Path consists of a 60-foot right-of-way and a 28-foot wide roadway. The portion of 193rd Street that is extended with this development consists of an 80-foot right-of-way and a 42-foot wide roadway, and that's consistent with what is existing in the Troy Hill development to the east. Both Everfield Avenue and Everglade Path will end with temporary cul-de-sacs to allow vehicle turnaround. Obviously, they will be extended with the next phase. This particular development is adjacent to County Road 64 or 195th Street West, and because of that, it is subject to the county's contiguous plat ordinance. The County Plat Commission did meet on December 6th and approved the final plat, and that approval was conditioned upon the access at 195th Street being restricted to a right-in, right-out with a raised median constructed in 195th Street right-of-way, along with a right turn lane. And as you can see in the packet and on here, the plans do accommodate for those requirements. So, parks, trails, and sidewalks. The city will seek cash in lieu of parkland dedication with this development. Now, this was a change from the preliminary plat. The Park and Rec Commission and park staff are taking a harder look at neighborhood parks and are looking to move away from smaller neighborhood parks to more larger community-wide parks. So they envision having a larger community park more towards the northwest of this development. That's why they've essentially changed their mind and are going away from actually taking dedicated land with this development. Sidewalks are shown on the south and west side of Everglade Path and the west side of Everfield Avenue. Bituminous trail is shown in Outlot A, and this trail does connect into the existing trail that's located in 195th Street. The trail is also provided on the south side of 193rd Street West as a continuation of the existing trail that's located there. As far as the final planned unit development, in your packet, I did attach the planned unit development agreement. The developer has reviewed the attached agreement and does find it acceptable. There are basically two proposed deviations that are included within that agreement. The first one is reduce lot size to a minimum of 8,119 square feet. Generally in our R1 zone, there's a requirement for a minimum 10,000 square foot lot. And number two, reduce lot width to 60 feet. Our typical R1 zone requires a minimum width of 75 feet for lots. So those are the two deviations that are being requested. The engineering department has reviewed the final plat and they do recommend approval upon satisfaction of all engineering comments that are related to construction plans for grading, utilities, as well as the applicant entering into a development contract with the city and all security fees and costs paid. And I do want to mention the engineering comments that are out there are minor. So I think the developers already addressed those. So the action that is requested this evening then is to recommend approval of the Meadowview Preserve final plat and PUD agreement contingent upon the following and forward that recommendation on to the city council. Number one, the satisfaction of all engineering comments related to the construction plans for grading and utilities. And number two, a development contract between the developer and city of Farmington shall be executed and security fees and costs shall be paid. Submission of all other documents required under the development contract shall be required.
Thank you, Tony. Nice job. Tony, could you go back to the final plat real quick?
Absolutely.
Just had a question, maybe to remind the commission and our viewers. I'll call it the southwest corner. There's that 50-foot indentation.
Right here?
I can't see your mouse. Down, no, right in the development, it's the plat itself.
Right in the start of the.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, right there.
There's a trail that will be
That's
going.
the trail? They're
Yep,
using-
there will be a trail connection there.
50-foot right away for a trail.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, what it does is it gives the property owners on each side a little bit.
It's a buffer. It provides a buffer between the trail and the homes.
Oh, that's nice. That's
So-
nice. Okay, I appreciate that. All right. Mr. Tucker's with us, representing the applicant. Do you have anything to add to the staff report?
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. Brian Tucker with Summergate. Nothing really to add. Tony's covered it well. He did touch on the fact that the earlier preliminary plat approval did have some park dedication in land that's been modified since then, and we certainly understand kind of the revisit of that because we've seen it in other cities where they're trying to get away from the little pocket parks. So we will be visiting with staff here over the next week or so to kind of work out details related to the development agreement and development fees and those type of things. But otherwise, no questions or no additional input on my end.
If you could stay available, I suspect the commission will have a few for you. And you've had a good fall to get the grading done out there. It looks nice from what I've seen. So congratulations, and good to see you back again. Start with Commissioner Leto.
Actually, I don't have any questions. It looks good. Thank you.
Commissioner McAbey.
Could you just pull up the sidewalk one more time? I just wanted to see those. I had a tough time seeing the.
Yeah, I apologize. So the yellow will be your sidewalk. So if you can follow the mouse,
So is there a sidewalk on that, the other road off the?
there's one here.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
it's on the west side there.
Okay, I just couldn't see it.
Yep.
I don't really have anything else other than, it looks good to me too.
Commissioner Winchell.
The only question I got is, Tony, do we have any idea on how much cash in lieu of this park dedication?
No, I do not have that yet.
How was that determined, just out of curiosity?
It is based off of density, and then there's a calculation that's based off of a appraised value of the land.
Okay.
So,
No, answers my question. Thanks.
Thanks, Phil. And just to let our viewers know what's going on here, we had a public hearing on this, I'd say about
almost 2 years ago, a
almost 2
year and a
years
half ago.
So, and then, there was a little bit of a holdup, and now the developer's back. I'm glad they are. And it's what's called an R1 PUD, and a planned unit development. I view it, and Tony, you can correct me, it's kind of an overlay under this.
It is.
It allows for deviations to an R1 zoning district, as Tony mentioned. In this case, a little smaller lot, although the lots that are next to the existing subdivision are the same size. And then, the width of some lots can be narrower than what would be R1. So that's why it's called a PUD. And that's why there's a PUD agreement that will go to our city council also. Mr. Tucker, I just had some questions. Can you explain to our viewers what type of housing you're going to have out there?
You may recall a while back, I think sometime last year, we approached the planning commission to maybe talk about mixing up our uses a little bit. The feedback we were getting at the time, kind of with the initial wave of the economy kind of going the other direction, was we need multiple product types to feel comfortable getting in here. We tend to work with other builders, and so we were responding to market conditions. But anyway, not that the uncertainty is totally gone, but I think there's more of a understanding of kind of what things are going to look like, at least for the coming year. So these will be kind of the traditional single-family homes that you're seeing in other developments around the South Metro. Summergate intends to build in this project, and then we may have some other builders come along as well. We don't have necessarily minimum home sizes set yet, but we're working towards that. But certainly they'll be similar to what we're seeing in the market for 60-foot lots.
Can you give us an estimation of valuation?
Boy, it's really hard to build anything less than 550 these days, so
okay.
I would say at least be there.
For your neighbors to the east,
Yeah.
it's going to be nice valued houses.
Yes.
Okay. Timing of this phase?
As you inferred, the grading is largely wrapped up now, so we expect to get utilities underway as soon as we can in the spring, and hopefully have some model homes going by, end of summer, early fall, depending on how the construction moves along.
Okay.
And then
go ahead.
there is an additional 75 lots in future phases. So depending on the absorption rate of this first phase, we'll kind of monitor that and see when we need to come in for a second or third phase.
You're a good developer. That was my next question. You anticipated it. So, and you're okay with the parkland change? I mean, you're going to have to be.
Yes. Yeah, I will say, to be fair, we spent a fair amount of staff time and consultant time trying to work through that issue to begin with. So it was a little disheartening that got changed, but I certainly understand the rationale for that, and we're expecting to get 4 lots at least in its place.
Yeah,
So
there's something that comes back to you, and we have a
Absolutely.
very proactive and a very good park board. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they're doing what's right and what's best for this community.
yes, understood.
So appreciate that. And then I just have one thing, I want you to confirm, and Tony mentioned it, but I want you to say it, that, I talked about a PUD, and, that you've reviewed the attached agreement, and you find it acceptable before we send it to our city council?
Yes, we do.
You do, okay.
Yep.
I just want that on record. All right, well, thank you. Anything else from the commission? If not, then, we're looking for a recommendation on the Meadowview Preserve final plat and the PUD agreement to our city council. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion for a favorable recommendation on both the final plat and the PUD agreement. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any more discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Beckley,
Yes.
Winchell,
Yes.
Roddy,
Yes.
Lado.
Yes.
All right. Well, now we got the big item, 2024 meeting calendar. And Tony, if you can stretch it out, so.
Exciting stuff here, exciting
kidding.
stuff. In your packet, I did include the 2024 calendar of meeting dates. The only outlying change is the August meeting, which will be on August 14th, Wednesday, August 14th, instead of our typical second Tuesday of that month, and that's due to the election that that's there. So other than that, nothing really out of the ordinary, so.
All Tuesdays except the August meeting.
All Tuesdays except for that August meeting.
Can I ask you in advance for the old guy on the commission, can you send out an email reminder
I will do
so that I
that.
don't show up the day before? All right, appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Any questions on the meeting calendar?
Looks great.
Yeah, looks terrific. You know, I just got one final thing, and as you know, tonight's the last meeting of Commissioner McAbee, and I just want to thank her for the service to our community. Having got to know you, you are a very good commissioner. You always come prepared. You ask very good questions. And I really appreciate your service to this community,
Thank you.
so.
I will echo that 110%.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we wish you the best, and hopefully someday we'll see you back,
Maybe, yep.
all right?
Thank you.
Anything else from staff? Anything else from the commission? If not, I'd ask Commissioner McAbee to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
They're gonna leave you hanging, weren't they?
Gotta get to that 38 minutes.
Yeah, that's what it was. All right. Oh, gosh.